All right, so we're on the last video for radical equations, and we're going to solve them using everything we've learned. All right, so if you're a step person, we're going to isolate the radical, like the square root. We're going to square both sides if it's a square root. We're going to solve it and then check. All right, so here we need to get rid of this square root, and the opposite of square root is squaring. So now I have x minus 6, because a square and a square root cancel each other out. And then 5 squared is 25. Then I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So I get x equals 31. And so if I want to check it, 31 minus 6 is 25. Square root of 25, 5. It's going to get a little harder, but not that much. All right, so here I'm going to add 1 to both sides because I want the radical, the square root, all by itself. So I get square root x plus 9 equals 3 plus 1 is 4. All right, so now I'm going to square both sides. So I get x plus 9 equals 4 squared is 16. Then I'm going to minus this 9. So I get x equals 16 minus 9 is 7. So 7 plus 9 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So it works. Right? So notice this one's got an x over here. This one had numbers. This one had numbers. So this one's going to be a little harder. But we can still do it. So we're going to square. So we get 5x minus 6 equals x squared. All right, so we need everything over on one side with the x squared positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 5x over. I'm going to move this 6 over. So I get x squared minus 5x plus 6. Remember the rule is if the x squared and the x are on the same side and you're solving, you need to factor. Or there's other methods, but right now factoring is going to work. So it multiplies to give us 6, adds to give us negative 5. Negative 2, negative 3. Negative 2 times negative 3 positive 6. Negative 2 plus, okay, that works. So I get x minus 2, x minus 3 equals 0. And then I'm going to set each factor equal to 0. So I get x, I'm going to add 2 to both sides, equals 2. X equals 3. I'm going to check. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2, and that's what I had plugged in too. Let's try the 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So it works. 2 answers. Let's try here. Let's square it. So I get 8x minus 12 equals x squared. I need all of that on the other side because I want the x squared to be positive. So I have x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. Multiplies to give us 12, adds to give us negative 8, negative 6, negative 2. Okay, so I get x minus 6, x minus 2. All right, so x minus 6 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Let's check it. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 minus 12, 36. Square root of 36 is 6. So that works. 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 minus 12 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. Check. All right, I'm going to square this. So we get z plus 10 equals c minus 2, c minus 2. Let me do my 2's that way. C plus 10 equals z squared minus 2z minus 2z plus 4. Z squared, right? Negative 2z and a negative 2z is a negative 4z plus 4. And we have a squared and a regular together, so I need it to equal 0. So I'm going to move this z over, and I'm going to move this 10 over. So, so I get 0 equals z squared minus negative 4 and negative 1, negative 5. 4 minus 10 is negative 6. So multiplies to give me negative 6, adds to give me negative 5. Try negative 6 and 1. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 1, negative 5. So I have z minus 6, z plus 1 equals 0. So z minus 6 equals 0, z plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so hang on. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides, so I get 6. I'm going to subtract 1 to both sides, so I get negative 1. Alright, so if I plug in right here a 6, I'm going to plug in 6. So 6 plus 10 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. So now I get 4 on that side. And then 6 minus 2 is 4. So that works. If I plug in a negative 1, on that side, negative 1 plus 10. Negative 1 plus 10 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. Negative 1 minus 2 is a negative 3. And 3 plus does not equal negative 3. So he is not an answer. Only 6 is my answer. Right, go back if you need to, pause the video, and step by step go back and plug in the numbers. Now let's try this guy. Square it. So I get 14 minus w equals w plus 6. W plus 6. So I get 14 minus w equals w squared plus 6w plus 6w plus 36. 14 minus w equals w squared. 6w and 6w is 12w plus 36. I want everything on the same side, so I'm going to subtract 14. I'm going to add w. So I get 0 equals w squared plus 12w and a w is a 13w. 36 minus 14, 22. 22, oh. So what multiplies to give us 22, adds to give us 13, 11, and 2. So it's w plus 11, w minus plus 2, times 2 is 22, plus 2 is 13. Okay. I'm going to do 11, w plus 11 equals 0, w plus 2 equals 0. So I get w equals negative 2, w equals negative 11. All right, I'm going to check them. All right, so square root 14, can't see that, minus negative 11 equals negative 11 plus 6. So 14 minus negative 11, that's really 14 plus 11. So that's square root 25. 14 plus 11, 25. Negative 11 plus 6 is negative 5. Square root of 25 is positive 5, not negative 5. Doesn't work. Let's try negative 2. Square root of 14 minus negative 2 equals negative 2 plus 6. 14 minus negative 2 is really 14 plus 2, so it's really square root of 16. Negative 2 plus 6, it's really 6 minus 2, so it's 4. Square root of 16 is 4, so he works. So negative 2 is the only answer we have. And that's solving radical equations. All right, you made it through this chapter, this unit. Oh my gosh, you never thought you'd survive. All right, so I'll talk to you later. Work on your homework. Let me know if you have any questions.